lower half. Sometimes even buttoning my shirt can be rather difficult. I think I'll add something new today. There we go. All gussied up. I take a deep breath because people are going to upset me and people are going to be upset with me if I share my views. Particularly this one. This is, I had a person on Twitter. Now, a lot of people on Twitter and on social media are showing their solidarity with the Ukraine. Same people who shared their solidarity with Black Lives Matter jumped on the bandwagon, and Joe and I did a show called, The Decade of the Poser. Now, I don't know who Ally for Cash Reparations for ADUS, and that's Americans, African descendants of slaves. I think that's the way they say it. But I wanted to read some of her comments that she said to me, and bear in mind, let me look here. Stoic, I don't get what's so hard about treating non-white people fairly. Help me understand. Please help. Please help me understand, please. I wasn't raised to hate anyone. I was raised to play fair and not change the rules or move goalposts in the middle of the game. Our upbringing's different. I just said, you seem to treat your views like a fanatic treats their religion. It cannot be questioned. If you cannot give me a logical reason why I should be racist, and see, she just says you cannot, if you cannot give me a logical reason why I shouldn't be racist, then I'll at least listen to your argument. Fair. Fair warning, I haven't met a single person who can give me a logical reason to be racist. I'm not giving you a logical reason to be racist. That's stupid. But it is all about, I might invite her on our show. I don't know. I don't think she'd come, by the way. She goes by the name of Burbs Becky. This is Stoic Calm. It used to be Uncle Timmy Wise. Tim Wise is one of those lefty anti-racist types that used to engage with people, but does not engage with people anymore. And that's just about the size of it. And we all come with different opinions, different viewpoints, and hopefully we can all be heard. It does anger me when people don't want to hear what I have to say or have a discussion. But I have to realize that this is the day and age in which we're living in. Some people treat their ideology and views like they would treat a religious faith. And they're fanatical. And what can you say to a fanatic? And Master of Rope, my internet son, says, you're stupid, Brian, for bitching about people on Twitter. Perhaps I am. I'm a stupid little boy. Or a stupid man. But, I'm just bringing that up. And it's something that perhaps shouldn't really bother me. People's opinions and their viewpoints shouldn't bother me. But to a degree, it is what it is. People have opinions, and some of these people with opinions do wield power, and they wield power in the court of public opinion. And they decide what is to be seen and what is not. I'll give an example. They're talking really strongly about Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, who met with an organization or had spoke at a rally that was organized by Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes is an America First. Some call him a white supremacist. And that is all over the news. But how much news was Eric Swalwell, who seemed to have had an affair with a Chinese spy, Fang Fang? How much news coverage was that covered? Everyone has an opinion. The difference is people believe their opinions is the overall right opinion, when in reality it is right for them, not others. That is true, but I'll tell you this, Mandy. I'll leave that up. I'll tell you this, Mandy. I have had opinions that I held very strongly in my youth that I do not hold today. And I just don't believe in that word. By the way, Nick Fuentes is a white supremacist. I think that word, kind of like racism, is very overused today. And I haven't listened to all of Nick's views. I wonder, though, Mandy, have you had any really strong views that you had as an adolescent and as a teenager and even as a young adult? Because I held these views until recently, into my middle-aged hood. And Mandy says I am fluent in Braille. Brian, let me show. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. And yeah, I held views. So Mandy says she changed over time because I grew up and out of my ass. You will one day too, Brian. So I'm living in my ass, is what Mandy is saying. I'm a person that lives in their buttocks. That I am blind. I am a blind man. This is seems to be rather hogwashy. That I am blind. I am willing, Mandy. I am far willing to have a conversation than you are. But I'm blind. Perhaps you can help me see. You are living in your ass. Give me a break, Mandy. That's just so silly. Now you got so silly. It's unbelievable. It kind of made me laugh, and I laugh at vulgar humor. Dennis is my way or the highway. We're all kind of like that to a degree. It's my way or the highway. To some point. Sometimes, and sometimes to a degree, just so I can shoot down their, just so I can perhaps make myself feel superior and shoot down their ideas. Who's not blind? Who's not blind? I mean, I wonder who's not myopic, who's not blind. Yes. Now, Mandy is world traveled. I am not. I've traveled different parts of the country. I was actually born in Europe. I was born in West Germany on an American Air Force base, and I listened to both my mother and my father. My mother was in the Peace Corps. She was in the United Arab Emirates, and she spent time in Morocco, which was a Muslim country, although it was very much influenced by the French. My mother at that time was somewhat fluent in that language, and she had a Muslim boyfriend. I don't know how far it went. This was in the early 1960s, but she learned a little bit about the Islamic faith, and I see certain people who embrace it are not as aware of it as I am, and I became aware of a few things about that particular faith that aren't so kind. And she also, taught me about different parts of the world, and my father also. Even though my father was a bit of a, he could be much more of a drama queen, and he told me definitely about the standards of living that are here in America as compared to Europe. Um, Although at the time, I think his dollar went a lot further. It's kind of like those who've listened to Howard, who's living in Thailand. Uh, my father had American dollars in in Europe, and it went. I mean, in Germany, and it went further. And then I think something happened. I don't think it might have been the gold standard. It might have been something like that. But all of a sudden, my father, the American currency went down quite a bit. And Mandy is listening because she saw the energy of my glasses. And yeah, life is complex. Um, and today, when I go to work, I'm going to meet the day ready for bear. Hopefully, ready for bear. Ready for the most difficult, most. I'm ready for the most difficult weather. Whether if it's going to be cold, I try to imagine it's going to be like bone chilling cold. I imagine the people are going to be vicious and cruel and mean. And when they're not that way, by the way, I wanted to mention that ally cash for reparations did surprise me a little bit because usually these people are far more vindictive and more fanatical. She did ask me some questions about my upbringing, which I do kind of appreciate. I do still believe that she's a fanatic on her beliefs, but she's a little less myopic than I thought she would be. So that is a surprise. And Mandy says, "But I'm listening to you because I saw the glasses, so I figured you had personality this morning and energy." And I appreciate that, Mandy. Sometimes I have energy, and other times I don't, and I'm a tired little boy. And I am too sensitive, I'm too emotional, and I know I see that in others, but I have to, if I'm gonna be the person I wanna be, I gotta take this stuff with a grain of salt, because people are gonna say and do things that I'm not necessarily gonna agree with. But I want to be able, for me, to roll with the punches. And hopefully others can also roll with the punches as well. People will say and do things that you find absolutely absurd. And I say that for myself. People will say and do things that I find to be completely absurd. So I think that's about it that I'm going to say on the show. I want to hopefully say I'm going to meet the day. It's 8:23, going to be close to 8:30 this morning, and I'm going to meet the day with the expectation the weather's going to be horrible. People are going to be vindictive and vicious and cruel and insane, and man, I may get hit. Nuclear war may come. So if I'm not sleeping on the street and I don't have cancer, I have diabetes, but I don't. I expect to get cancer. I'm just expecting the worst. And yeah. Well, thank you, Mandy. And you have a great day too. I hope you make lots of money and perhaps give some to Brian Pooh. No, I'm kidding. You don't have to give me anything. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your day, everybody, or your night if you're listening to this at night. And for me, I think it's good to have really bad expectations so things aren't so bad. So thank you for listening, and enjoy the rest of your day. Like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. I wish more people would like it. That kind of helps the show gain more. But and if you ever want to come on and discuss things with me, you're welcome to do so. And hopefully you can have a free flowing conversation. Thank you for listening. It's taking a while for this thing to go off. Jeez Louise. I'm trying to end the broadcast, but it's not ending. And it's just going and going and going and going and going and going and going. Having trouble internet connection. Let's try again.